differences, especially about the political, economic, and the legal systems. So, just briefly, I reviewed last week the systems, the political system, and political system and the economic system, and continued with study the legal systems. So I introduced the political system is the system of government in a nation. There are many kinds of political system in the world, as you know. So there are some democratic system and totalitarian system. So also the collectivism and individualism is effective for political systems. Also the social system is, socialism is also traced there Karl Marx, last time I talked to you. So who owns the ownership? So there are many kinds of countries developed or are really changed to socialism from the democratic. Also, what is the difference between democracy and totalitarianism? So democracy is some kind of political system. The government is by the people, exercised either directly or through elected representatives. Mostly, mostly countries follow the democracy. And the other hand is totalitarianism. This is some kind of form of government. It's a one person or political party exercise absolute control over. So the shapers of human life and opposing political parties are prohibited, very restrictive. This is most totalitarian system is widespread political repression, no free or fair election. So media is also censored. So basic civil liberty are also denied. This is for totalitarian system. Okay, today we will continue the economic systems. First, last week we studied the political system, and today we will review the economic system. So political ideology and economic systems are connected, very seriously connected, developed in the world history. So there are three types of economic systems. First is market economy, second is the command economy, and the mixed economy. Right here. First is market economy. Command economy. economic systems are three kind of system, the types. First is market economic system. Second is the command economic system, and the third one is the mixed economic system. So the all market-based economic system is likely in the countries where individual goals are given primacy over collective goals. So first we collective goals and then we follow that. So given the goals and then we follow it. Also state-owned enterprise and restricted markets are common in the countries where collective goals are dominant. Dominance means is over private. So first, market economy. In the pure market economy, the goods and services that a country produced and the quantity in which they are produced is determined by supply and demand. This is the basic economy. So you heard in the high school levels, supply, price. This is supply and demand curve. This is the first class of the economics class. This graph, and then this is for most popular market economic system. So it means is the consumers control price and products or service quality and attributes through demand. So the customers need or wants. What is it different in the economics? Needs or wants. The need of customers is demand. The customers want something, products, quality. But the supplier is the produce and the firms produce some products or some farming or fisherman make it some products in the market and then automatically decide the price. We call market price. It means market price means I eagerly buy or sell this price. I have eagerly mind or intend mind or something intend to sell or buy at this market price. So later demand is increased means the graph is moved to from left to right side. It means quantity is moved here. Good. Even if they are same price, but in the markets demand is increasing, it means the line is moved to right, and then automatically the market quantity is increasing here, but the price pure still same price. But the company think about it. Oh, the quantity, it means demand is increased. The suppliers change the move that. Move to right here. this is not an economy class, so I introduced the briefly case. There are four kinds of movement in here. For example, in supply chain, move here, or on. Move here. So there are four kinds of different prices. 1, 2, 3, 4. First time, start in here, but it's the change the demand or supplies, and then move it. Move it, something like that. So move that, four kind of direction. So if we change the supplies, move to left to right, okay, so follow the change the price or quantity change, price change. It due to supply quantity, demand quantity. Also, the price is the more important factors to demand and supply curve. This is for introduction to economics basic concept first class. So also same thing in the economic systems is part of the market basis economic system is based on demand and supply. So in pure market systems, the goods and services a country produce and the quantity, as I said. So it is determined by the supply and demand. Supply must be listed by the monopolies, as you know, the monopolies. Monopolies is to conquer all products only one company. For example, Apple or Microsoft, something like very kind monopolies. But it's market economics is not allowed monopolies. Also, the rule of the government encourage free and fair competition. It means there are many suppliers there. Also, there are huge demands, means it's customers. So only one supplier or one demand is not required in the government. So this encourages free and fair between the private producers. There are several neo monopolies in the United States and Europe. As I said, it's for example, Anheuser-Busch. I don't think it's a kind of company. Anheuser is the beer company. Anheuser. Busch. This is very famous beer company, but this company covered 46% of beer in the United States. Also the Netflix. Most people like the Netflix movie, drama, something. And Microsoft also very similar neo monopolies. And those World Book glasses in the YKK. You know that the YKK? It's cheaper. Cheaper company, very famous. So the YKK from the jeepers is almost monopolies in the world. There are many kind of near monopolies in the world, but I don't know this Monsanto is a soybean company, but it's most of them covered all economics, all their markets. This is a very unique or specified market share. This is market economics. Also, second economic system is comments economic system. As you know, in a pure command economy, the goods and services are the country produce, the quantity. They are produced and the price at which they are sold are all planned by the government. So it means the government planned everything. Product value and product price, all of them by the plan, the government. So all businesses are state-owned, so have a legal incentive to control cost and the efficiencies. So North Korea is command economy. So there are no incentive or bonus system, but it's the very sensitive problem, sensitive factor area in the economies. So especially behavior economic is focused. How can we increase or encourage the customers or the employees? So they need some promotion or incentive or bonus and some other benefits. For example, 4 days per week, something like that, and some good benefit for employees. But in command economy systems, there's no incentive or some benefit in there because all thing is planned by government. Also, there is no private ownership. There is a real incentive and better service consumer need. So consumer needs is a big point of the market in the world. So in economies, think about needs. First, start from needs, especially customer needs. Okay? And a very unique system is North Korea command. That North Korea is command economy system. That's but the leader of the department, Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Very interesting things is North Korea official name is they're using the democracy. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea. So DPRK. DPRK is North Korea's full name, is official. So even if they command the economic system, but they're using the democracy, also republic, they're using that. This is nonsense. Anyway, DPRK is North Korean. Inspecting at the factories. North Korea functions are the centralized. All authority is focused, centralized. And single party, only one party. Also tightly controlled dictatorial command economy. Dictatorial means only one guy is conquered or controlled the country. Dictatorial, something like the Hitler style. Anyway, this is for command economy. And third one is the mixed economy. The mixed economy includes some elements of the market economy and some elements of the command economy. They are mixed. As governments take over trouble funds considered vital to national interests. It means some company has big problem, for example, in the United States, General Motors, GM. As you know, the 7 to 8 years ago, the GM has very big problem in the world in economic status. So I think the President Obama is help or some support them by some economic or the financial aid. This is exactly command economy. The market economies cannot control that. It is related political system. The government concerned in the market price or not, but slightly in the democratic wants to engage the market price. This is the democracy part in the United States. But the Republican is never attended in the market price or refused the market price policies. This is very differences between Republican Party and the Democratic Party. So they engage in the market price or not, or something policy. This is divided for two parties. But now today on news, as you know, the interest rate, they announced the interest rate 0.25, 0.25, 0.50, 0.25, 0.5, 0.75. In the United States, the economic system is controlled by the interest rate. Interest rate. FRB is controlling the interest rate. It is affected every year. Mortgage and the price and all things follow this interest rate. So they announced interest rate, they decide 8 peoples in the world, in the representatives, the central bank and some authorized from the government. They decide 4 times per year. It means they control the market index. There are many kinds of indexes here. So they decide the interest rate. And then the follow the interest rate in the mortgage system and real estate problem and saving interest, all things follow it. So if they choose the small step means 0.25% is a small step. A small step means it's a little bit, a control, slight. And 0.5% is big step. Big step means, there are big inflation. We focus next quarterly economic status is very poor or decline that at this time they decide 0.5. This big step. Super big step is 0.75. I'm not sure that last 4 to 5 system, they decide 0.5%. Super steps. We are like step, small step, big step, or huge step. So at this time, after pandemic, there are big problem inflation. So FRB decided 0.5, 0.75 big step, huge steps, 3 to 4 times. This is it. So there are control 3 kinds of interest rate. So it is for delay the inflation or CPI or PPI, something like index, and then they decide their interest rate. Automatically, the saving interest and the mortgage interest follow. So nowadays, some aspect in the United States also using the mixed economic system. But unfortunately, the number of mixed economies in the world today is falling. The mixed economy was much greater in the Latin America, as in Europe and India, but recent trends toward privatization. Privatization means is to belongs to the government. United States bought huge stakes in AIG, Citigroup, and GM. As I said, GM, in the 2008 to 2010, they controlled the companies because it's big issues in the world, and also, especially the United States economy is very poor. So Russia and Venezuela increased state ownership. Now it's South Latin America a big problem for economic system. The main reason is they choose or pursue the political systems. That's the point. Okay, this is not economics class, so just to briefly I introduce that. And next, the legal system. Legal system. There are political system, automatically related the economic system, and also the relationship with the legal systems. The legal systems of the country refers to the rules or laws. What kind of rules? What kind of laws? Well, the regular behavior and along with the processes by which the law of country are enforced there through the remedies for grievances obtained. It means is if I have some complaint, how can I release the complaint? This is part of the legal system. And nevertheless means is I want some argue. We have some arguing things, and then how can we do nevertheless means is some kind of, for example, settle. They're opposite and accused them. How can we settle them by laws? This is a nevertheless. This is also saying like the economic systems is heavily influenced by the political system. So how kind of legal system is very influenced the political system also. The country's legal system is important because of the law that regulate business price and define the manner in which business transaction are to be executed. Set down the rights and obligations of these involved in the business transactions. It means is the market price, who control or argue or some different idea or different benefit between peoples, between groups, and between contexts. So different legal system is common law, civil law. We don't have I don't have any idea for these things because this is for law part. But just I introduce type from common law. In related legal systems, there are three kinds of laws. The common law based on the traditions and precedents and the custom. Most of the law belongs to the common law. This is first found in the Great British in the United States, in England. And United States mostly have a common law. Most countries have followed this one. This is common sense. And what is the civil law? Civil law is based on the detailed set of the laws organized into codes. So in the world, more than 80 countries follow the civil law. For example, French, Germany, Japan, Russia. These countries follow the civil law. But the United States is follow the common law. Common law is the regulation and the common or traditions. This is the United States. Civil law is Germany, French, Russia. In the world, about 200 states, countries, 200 in the world, but the civil law followed about 80 countries. 80 countries follow the civil law. The common law is more than civil law countries. The civil law system has come to the last adversarial means is opposite, the other side. The common law system, because the judges rely on the detailed legal code. You didn't follow the code. That's why you were sentenced for 5 years. Fine, $100, something like that. This is called. Judge under the civil law systems have less flexibility than under the common law system. A little bit very restrict flexibility. Also, the judges in the common law system have a power to interpret the law, whereas judges in the civil law system have a power only to apply the law. It means judges in the United States, the judge a little bit flexibility to find a decision, because it's not followed the court. But the other civil law judges only follow the court. No reason to exception. It's very serious things. Nowadays, that's why the judges compare that this one. What is different? If I have some traffic violence, the common law follow the common law, the judge has a little bit room for discount and divide pay, or some waiver, or you are guilty or not, or something like that in the United States. But the civil law cannot do that. Only code shows to you if you signal violation in the traffic, the fines is $500, and then $500 is fixed. This is the civil law system. So it will be room for settle or tolerance or something. We don't have it. This is the difference. And the theory law is based on the religious teaching. Religious. As you know, the Islamic law is the most widely practiced. It's a religious. So all countries have some brand of theoretic and common or civil law. So theoretic law is Islamic. You think about IS, something is religious. religious law is more upper level by the law. That's what it is, theory. Most of the Middle East country. And next, contract law and property rights and corruption and intellectual property, product safety and product liability. These things, individualism, these things is related for the legal systems. One by one, I introduce. There are three kinds of systems follow the legal system: common law, civil law, theoretic law. These things is very deeply related the export and import. For example, halal system. If you want to sell the meat in the Middle East, you have to follow the halal system. That's why we study this one. So halal system is some special processing for kill the pig or some pork and poultry. So that's why if you want to some business with Middle East, and then you have later we will study the custom. Later we will review that kind of area. So we have to know the law also. Okay. The other studying the legal systems is first contract law. Contract law, property rights, and corruption. And intellectual property. And next, product safety. Product liability. Also, individuals. Okay. There are the other sorting in the legal systems. 6. Correct law. So correct law means it specifies the conditions under some exchanges to occur and details the right and the obligations of the parties involved. The common law states contracts are very detailed with all contingencies spelled out. Spelled out means is no distinguish that or separate. We using the old thing. This is a spell. In the civil law states, contracts are shorter and much less specific. This is contract law. In the United States, national conventional contracts, international, some organizations, UNCC, United Nations Convention on Contract. It means it's contract between the countries, between the salesperson, between the whole person, something, between the retailer and customers. That is contracting. Is affected by GIST. I don't remember every organization in the authority in the world, also in the United States, because there are many kinds of huge organizations in the delay, export and importing. So I don't remember everything. Anyway, there's an international sales goods. So they why they make this one is uniform, because standard. As you guess, we need to standard code or standard idea or index, because it's each country make export and import, and then they have some same code or index needed. That is a standardization. So why we make this type organization or standarding unified, need to more easy to contracting. So the very important thing is each country size. So this is follow the contract law. So the first contract law means is some code or uniform, unified or uniform something. And second, the property rights. Property right means the legal right over the use to which the resources put over the use made of any income may be derived from that source. It means it's property right. If I get some property, I also follow the right there. So if I buy some building and the house, and then automatically I have some approved by rights, title and equipment, resource, ownership, everything. Most countries follow the property rights law. But unfortunately in China, property rights was adopted in only 2007, very recently. Property rights can be violated two ways: property action and public actions. So theft, blackmail, piracy, and like that by the private individuals or groups. Mafia is the biggest source of violation. This is private actions. On the other hand, the public actions is the public officials extort is a takeaway, extorting income or resources from property holders. Excessive taxation, requiring expensive license or permits. This is also private actions, and public actions related to property rights. And third was corruption. This is a very big problem for corruption in the state power. Corruption is in the present of all the countries to some degree. However, and the country has high level of corruption. Corruption is there are some authority announced the corruption rate. It means this corruption rate is related for foreign direct investment force, international trade force, economic growth force, or reputation is also forced because it's corruption. Some officials have some bank money and then doing something. This is corruption. This is a big problem for export and import. So, this is corruption related to that. And then intellectual property. Intellectual property is the product of the intellectual activity. So song and writing, movie, something like that. Also the patent. Patent is also intellectual property. Copyright is also related for intellectual property. So in the global markets, it's also very serious area is intellectual property. For example, copyright, trademark, and the patent. Okay, you know that. So most country, 185 countries belongs to the members WIPO. WIPO is related for intellectual properties. So 185 nations are the member of the WIPO. WIPO means it's World Intellectual Property Organization. So 185 countries in the world, they are member of this organization. So if they sell and buy some property, sell the patent, copyright, and trademarks is follow this regulation. This is the intellectual property. And the product safety and the product liability. Product safety law means is some kind of certain safety standard which the product must adhere to. Product liability also is involved in the holding of firm, the official responsibility. The product cause injury, or death, or damaging. This is liability. So in the global marketplace, also the related product safety and liability is also same thing. In the domestic company, also same thing. And last, individualism. Individualism means is suggests individuals should have a freedom over the economic and the political pursuit. This is a trace to Aristotle. Individualism is from the Aristotle. So the individualism stress the individual freedom and self-expression. We can vary free expression and letting people pursue their own self-interest to achieve the best overall goods for society. Democratic system and free markets is need for individualism, but sometimes have some problem individualism in the groups because some groups decide representatives, but I don't like him or like her. So at this time, some sacrifice, and I don't accept. Even if I don't accept the representatives, but the group decide that we have to follow. This is individualism. Is a little bit sacrifice. This is another spring. Anyway. Okay, let's have a 5 break and then come back. Okay. We reviewed chapter 1 introduction and continues last week. The national differences in the political system, economic system, the legal system is related to the global market. So today we will study the national differences in the economic development. Economic development is the same. There are kind of levels, each different, each country, because it's there are some macroeconomic changes in the world. This is especially some wars between the countries, Russia and Ukraine, something like that, and Latin America political systems change that. Most of them is related to economic development. So many countries differ with regarding the political system, also economic system. Can you please talk, please? Okay, thank you. Economic system also legal system is different. So at this time, this week, we will read this material to explain how these differences influence the level of the economic development of the nations. So there is some place for doing business style. So the economic politics and the legal systems is changing around the world. So the implication of this are the future rate of the economic development of national and the religions. So economic development is related for, where is it? The future rate of the economy. There are many kinds of index delayed rate. So the economic development rate. Later I will show you some graph. So we refer the economic development of the nation of the regions. We have the delayed for the future rate. Also the last three decades, we have seen general move towards more democratic forms of government. That means it's market-based economic forms. Also, the adoption of the legal system is better enforce property rights. As I said, the property right means is a copyright and trademark, patent. So it's related for international business. So I will show you the pictures related of my enlarged. Show you some pictures. Here we go. Page. This one. So this is for GNI per capita. GNI means gross national incomes. These pictures explain the country's gross national incomes, GNI per capita. This is the latest data from 2018 only. So the last red colors is upper high incomes means is $20,000 or more is red colors. United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Saudi Arabia, and Sweden, Finland, Spain, French. So it's European. Most of the like here, and here is over $20,000 a GNI. And below, lower higher income is 9,000 to 20,000 is orange colors, Russia, China, or something. Also the Argentina, orange color here, something. Just briefly, make concept. and the yellow color is of middle incomes. Middle income is $3,000 to $9,300 is middle incomes. This is a GNI index, so it's not absolute index. It's not. So just we have compared for the last 2018. And the lower middle income is $765 to $3,000. As most focused is one located in here. Yeah. And more below income is low income is $765 or less per year. It's only located in the European, South Africa. So it's a big problem. Anyway, focus there. So it's which country is the biggest population? Now it's changed. It's India, the biggest one, and China is second one. So, but the problem is the India has a very low middle income range. It's the problem. Anyway, this is for GNI for person years status. Also, it's related index I introduced for PPP. PPP is purchasing power. Purchasing power parity is PPP. PPP is some room or power for purchasing. This is for related for living status thing. So this kind of data. Let me show it there next. Very similar for GNI. GNI PPP per capita is also very same, almost same thing for GNI. So even if they are GNI and relay the PPP, it means people live in the light power. How can I find the basic living expenses? So it's also very same for GNI. Okay. Especially a little bit different GNI and GNI PPP per capita. Most countries are same, but for example, it's different countries. Here, Chile. Chile is different. The PPP is a little bit higher, but the GNI is very low. Chile in here is Honduras, but other countries same GNI and GNI PPP per capita, very similar. Also, there is related average annual growth rate. I'll show you the pictures. Annually growth per year in GDP, the gross development parity. So this picture shows the average annual growth rate. This is related to the increase of the population. So first is more than 4.0 is red color. This is very huge growth rate in GDP, 2009 to 2018. As you know, in China, almost 70% average increase for 6 to 7 years. So very highly increased the growth in GDP. So it means the red color countries huge, developed, and very sharply grows in the GDP countries. Most of Asia, China, India, some middle of Africa, and some country in South America is also included this area, more than 40%, 4.0. Last week I talked to you growth. If we have some 4.0 growth rate, and then it's related population rate. For example, in China, 7.0 growth average for at least 7 years. But China has very sharply increased the population. So, for example, 3.0 population increase, it means what is the actual increase rate? 4%. So that's why the China authorities conquered or some control the population increases. So one children, one child, something like that. Nowadays it's different. Anyway, this is another country policy. Anyway, the delay is the growth rate, is related the population rate. Okay, just more sense. And next, this textbook mentions Human Development Index. It means the population. Okay. So in 2017 data, this one. So, oops, I'm sorry. Okay. For China, is the current human high human development 0.7 to 0.8. This is China. Its human development index is very good because it's some control. Okay, I'm sorry, wait. There's some interruption in there. Okay, wait. Touch one more. 또 비틀리네. 짱 들리다. 아씨. problem with the United States system. There's a pest control in charge for some company at least $100 per monthly, and then they have the responsibility for insect everything. But the problem is very strong. Here, it's not that strong. Restaurant. Hey. Okay. Sorry, there are some problem here. Anyway, this is for human development index. Means is the population is related for economic development. So, in the United States, North America, except Mexico, the very high human development 0.8. Over 0.8 is the very high human development. Later, all kinds of factors in the human development. The green color is average 7.2.799, and medium human development is 5 to 6. Less than 5 is low level. So China is 0.7 to 8 rating. So there are some factors related to economic development. Okay, so let's move to next political economy and political progress. There are some economic progress related to innovation and the entrepreneurships, the engines of growth. So what kind of engine is related for economic growth in the process? First is innovation and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship means is individual business. Individual business is developed that is basically deeply related for engine of growth, the factor of business, factor of growth. Also, innovation and entrepreneurship requires a market economy. Market economy is also very deeply progress with economic progress. So, market economy is also same, and also the strong property. Property is very important factors for economic growth. Also the rights. Rights is related for freedom. They require the political system. Last week we reviewed that. And most economic progress start democracy. Democracy is even if they are command country and some theoretical country. Theoretical country means it's a religious country. So, but they are starting the economic development, start the democratic part, democratic method. That means it's free market. Because it's even if the economic national system is different, all systems related for market. Why they choose the market? They are free or fair. These two factors is conclude their market. So it is automatically decides the price. The price related to demand and supply. Last week we reviewed that. So in the markets, they decide the demands and supply, and we say the market price. Market price means is I have eager mind to buy, or I have eager mind to sell, and then they meet one point. That point we say the market price. Also, that's why the democracy is subject to and then they developed that economic system. This automatically followed the global economics, because even if the different political system, they want to grow economics, so they don't mind to economic political systems, only focus on market. Also, the other aspect is geography, education level, demographics, and it also is economic development. So geography means, for example, the delivery charge from the China, from the South America, from the North America. It's different logistics. It means, for example. So geography. Also education level. You know, in the United States, salary base, what is the difference, graduate, bachelor level and the high school level? The college level index, for example, 100, and if some guys graduate high school only, the salary based ratio is 100 to 80%. This is the college level versus high school level. Also, men versus women. Also 100.82 or something, 85. It's not exactly a ratio, but compare the college level and high school level is only 80% of the college level. Also, women, even if the same education level, but only 82, 83% average salary base. It's actual data, but not exactly. Anyway. Also, the economic development related for freedom in the world. Freedom is related to freedom, market. So I'll show you on the pictures for your understanding. Let me see. Okay. This is 2019 freedom in the world. See, not free the China, but this I don't know this. This is very freedom. But we say that freedom is a different concept. Anyway, it's not free. That means a little bit governments control the market. Free is the green color. The purely free is yellow color. The Asia, South Asia area is most of them countries partly free. China is red color, but I don't accept it. China is also very pure, anyway, freedom. The individual property. I'm not sure. It's another story. Forget it. Anyway, this is freedom also related economic development. That's it. And next is I'll show you another story. This one. This is index of economic freedom. It's 2019. Is 50% to 60% mostly on free. But, I'm not sure this data. Where is that? Source is inactive heat map. The Heritage Foundation. Heritage Foundation is a very historic research center, but I'm not sure that anyway. This is Heritage Foundation. So this is for orange color is mostly unfree area. China, Russia, Mongol, and Brazil is mostly unfree. I don't know exactly that. Anyway, yes, yellow color is moderate free. For example, the United States and Canada is 80% free. Not perfect 100%, because it's monopolies. We have monopolies. But Australia is very highly freedom of economy. This is for reference only. Okay. Okay. So the nature of economic transformation, only one thing, two things, okay? Most countries, even if the different political system and economic development, don't mind any other things, only two things. One thing is deregulation. And privatization. Only think about two things. This is for a little bit released regulation. This is deregulation. Okay? Even if the China, Russia, and the United States, all include the countries pursue the deregulation. Because why? The free market. Okay? The other one is privatization means is okay. No meaning there. You know the meaning? Privatization. So the government cannot control the company. For example, cigarette, gas, something like that. Then electronic. But the electronic is controlled or controlled with the government. Most countries, because it's very big issues in the economic development. Privatization is now new trend for globalization. Okay? Only you think about two things: the deregulation, a little bit release for regulation for business, and the other one is the country sell their own company for public, because the reason is competition, innovation. Okay, that's it. I don't want to more deep focus the contents. Just briefly knows that is my basic goals. Okay. Okay. Last, I will show you one thing to summarize. The pictures is very good explanation of this. Overall attractiveness related economic development, cost, benefit, risk. These three factors is related economic development. One more time, cost, benefit, risk. This also is adjusted the small business or domestic business is also same thing. But another factors in here in domestic is regulation or government regulation. But in the global regulation, global economy is with a risk. Risk means it's political risk. This is a war or something, political system. Or economic risk, mismanagement. The government, for example, Venezuela, something like that. And benefit means is size of economy. Also, who owns the benefit? This is related for political system. And basically related attractive is cost. Cost means first thing corruption. Corruption is very bad government guys or salaries. Lack of infrastructure, no free aid, no harbor, and then some taxation. Tariff. This is cost, another cost for global competition. Okay. That's all thing today class. I'm sorry again to some interruption class and others. If you have any question, let me know with that. Okay, thanks for coming and see you next week, 9 o'clock. Okay, thank you, bye.